almost 2 there if they'd scampered. Hick onto 91.
Now there's 2 balls to go here, and Ian Healy's alive to the situation with the drinks. He's gone down to have a word with May, and he's going to get him to come over the wicket. That's not necessarily because he thinks May might be more effective there to the left-hander, but it's because the clock on the ground says 2:39, and now it's clicked over to 2:40. Well, now, that means drinks, and it means that Atherton has to make the decision of whether he's going to go on after drinks to allow Hick to get his 100.
Declare on him, do a Rod Marsh. He's been given a strike here by Thorpe. Well, now if he scored 100 for England in the series, it would be a big milestone for Graham Hick. He struggled, and that's a good sign for him, because it's easy to make runs when you're batting well. If you can get 100 not out here, it'll give him a tremendous lift for the rest of the series. The one-day game's coming up as well.
And Thorpe's looking for 2, but Hick's not. Now then, I should think drinks will come out now. It's 2 for 245. And it is drinks.
Fleming, the wicket taker, is coming back into the attack. There's much to take a little bit more time, I think, than anything else. Mark Taylor will be aware of the fact that Michael Atherton is pretty well on the verge of declaration, probably waiting for Hick to either get out or bring up his 100. He's there at 92 not out. He's coming up towards his 3rd Test 100. He scored 1 against India in Bombay and 1 against South Africa at Headingley in 94. 178 against India and 110 against South Africa. So he'll like to add Australia to his list. Countries against whom he has made a century. Even though he didn't grow up in England, nothing more that an England cricketer enjoys than 100 against the old enemy of Australia. And the interesting statistic is that it will be the 200th 100 for England against Australia. That'll help.
Yes, that is a lovely shot from Hick. The ball just swinging in, actually swinging in quite a long way. The rifle setting him up with an in-swinger. The question is, can he get one to go the other way? Watch this one swing in and flayed away on the offside. Interesting to see now whether he tries the outswinger. Hick on 94.
The other interesting statistic is that for a man who's not quite 29 years of age, it will be his 80th first-class 100. He was the youngest man to score 50 first-class 100s. He's been around for a long time. He was born in Salisbury, Rhodesia, now known as Harare, Zimbabwe. And has played most of his first-class cricket in England. Played some in Zimbabwe before he moved to England, to Worcestershire, where he has made the bulk of those runs. 23,856 career runs. Terrific record.
Yes.
Takes him along to 97. He scored his highest first-class score of 405 against Somerset, whom I represented a couple of seasons back in the 60s at the Taunton grounds, where he got his 405, and it's a very picturesque cricket ground. That was back in 1988, so he's been around for a long time. Started his first-class career as a 17-year-old.
So that one looked to me as if it just held, swung into the left-hander, so it really is working at the swing. Let's watch this one, just angles back in, and nicely played there by Thorpe. Yes, one has to assume now that the England captain, Mike Atherton, has decided that what he wants is just a short spell at them before the tea break, but more than that, he wants to get ahead by 450.
6 runs coming from the first over after the drinks break, 2 for 251. There's the sweep shot again. Takes him along to 98. Yes, I think if I were captain of the England team, as soon as Graham Hick brought up his 100, that'd be enough. Get them in, get the openers, the Australian openers out there with only a 10-minute break. Give them half an hour or so. Also gives the bowlers the opportunity of 2 sessions. The thing about a short session is that the batsman hasn't really got time to make any runs, whereas if he goes out there for 2.5 hours, he knows that there's a chance that he can be 40, 50, 60 not out at the end of that. But for 20 minutes, half an hour, the only damage he can do is to himself.
That's the end of the over. The best thing that could possibly happen, because Hick is down at the non-strikers end. 2 for 254.
447 runs in front. I would have thought that's enough. Damien Fleming going around the wicket to the left-hander. Another subtle little ploy. Just takes up a few more seconds getting organised. Keeps Graham Thorpe on strike down there. The longer they can keep Thorpe on strike, the better they'll like it. It was a ploy used by Ray Illingworth many years ago when Rodney Marsh was batting in Melbourne. Bill alluded to it just a moment ago. What he didn't say was that he was the captain who declared when Rodney was 96 not out.
Yeah, well, you can only give him so much time. I mean, really, the fact of the matter is Atherton should have declared already. Can't wait for Hick just for the sake of it. For the sake of a guy getting 100. He's had plenty of time to get his 100. I think Atherton's been pretty good this match, having criticised him pretty severely in Melbourne and Hobart for being very negative, very defensive. He's been quite positive in this test match, and this is his first negative move. He may just be leaving it too late, and for his sake I hope that it doesn't get down to the last half an hour of the match and he runs out of time.
Thorpe wants to single. Well supported by Hick. He's keen to get down there and get these extra 2 runs. I think he'd like to have it off his shoulders as well. He's got this close. It'd be nice to have a test century against Australia. Got away to a shocker in his test career. His first test series was against the West Indies. Curtly Ambrose worked him over like very few can. Got rid of him 6 times in 7 innings for an aggregate of 75 runs and an average of 10. He's bounced back from there. He's a resilient character. And he's had some tough times since then as well, but he's managed to get his way through. The England selectors have stuck with him too. I think they recognise that there's a lot more talent there than was seen early in his career, and he needed time to adjust, having started a bit later than most because of the fact that he was foreign born. He had to qualify for England by residence. You just look there at his record against all other countries, and you can see there against the West Indies, the 3rd one down, average of 24. A bit of bat in that as well, I think. Umpire Darrell Hare doesn't really give it a great deal of thought. Graham Hick just looking at the blade. I think it might have been bat onto pad.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of bat on that one. Right, this is the last ball of the over. Can he get the 2 here? If he gets 2, he's got himself 100. And if England declare, they have about just under half an hour at the Aussie openers.
He can't do it. 2 for 255.
Yes, he's had enough. Atherton has had enough. He's given him plenty of time. He's done a lorry. Atherton has called him in and said, sorry about that. You've had plenty of time to get your 100. And I agree with him totally. I think that's exactly, he's given him plenty of time. And the crowd here are stunned by this. And Atherton has called him off, and Hick looks a bit flabbergasted as well. And so do all those English supporters. Well, I've got to say, Greg, that he's given him enough time to get his 100.
Well, I think he has, Tony. I can't believe that Graham Hick is flabbergasted. He surely would have known that the intention was, or surely that someone would have talked to him at the last break. Alex Stewart went out there at drinks and was talking to him. So he looks a little bit flummoxed by the whole thing. It is disappointing for him, having got that close. There's the captain at the top of the stairs. No, he's not. He's inside. Probably hiding in the locker somewhere, I'd imagine. Just give him time to cool down a little bit before he has to talk to him. But really, the team's interest must come first. And I think Michael Atherton has done the right thing. So we'll go and have a break now. We'll be back here shortly at the SCG with Richie Bennett.
We're at the end of the over, and a little bit of voice effects as well, just in case they couldn't see the action. Okay, a lot of people might think that is fairly tough, but I reckon if you're captain of the side and you send out instructions and details of what you want and what the batsman has to do if he's to pick up 100 against Australia, and if that isn't carried out, then you just think solely of the team and nothing else. And Graham Hick will be quite happy to be part of a winning side if that's the way it happens. He wouldn't be too happy if they missed out by a couple of minutes, and he did have plenty of opportunities there to make 100. Let's have a look now at the card of the England innings. 2 for 255, plenty of runs there. In fact, I thought a bit of time wasted. Thorpe came out there and hit a very brisk 47. Hick's scoring rate was okay, but if the captain wanted to declare at drinks and not take in the drinks interval and waste another 5 or 6 minutes, then certainly he would have been having a little bit of a dull red flush up the back of his neck when 1 or 2 blocks were put on. 2 for 255, and the 2 men out, Graham Gooch and Michael Atherton. This is Gooch's dismissal.